Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Melvin Harmon, Vice President of Marketing, Study Abroad, and Participant Support at AFS-USA, and I'd like to welcome all of you to today's program. When a couple of us were first chatting about the idea of offering a cooking show of sorts, in my own mind, I had a picture of a camera positioned over a stove and a counter and someone giving us the steps and the hints to whatever dish we'd agree to present. So we took the idea, though, to our colleagues at Intercultural Italia, and well, what we didn't think about was that food to Italians is very serious business, and therefore involves a much grander production than the one I had originally thought up in my mind. So today we are bringing to you a varied and enthusiastic group of Intercultural Italy volunteers, host families, students, and staff, and also members of host families here in the United States who've hosted Italian students either now or in the past. We extend a very warm welcome to all of them. For all of us here and in Italy, this is our first presentation of this sort. There are, as I noted, a number of people involved, quite a few phone cameras, computers, and other equipment, and above all, a lot of excitement around sharing this important component of Italian culture and its contribution to the world. Forgive us if we make mistakes on things like camera angles and the like. What we do hope that you sense and feel is that we're involved in AFS because we have a love for people, for culture, different ideas, youth, community, and of course, food. Food is an expression of love and hospitality through things that host families and volunteers give in great abundance. We're so fortunate to enjoy the kindness of our host families, the curiosity and idealism of our students, and the endless energy and generosity of our volunteers. Today's presentation is in honor of them, of you. As you know, it's now 7 p.m. in Italy, and throughout the day, and while some of us were sleeping, a lot of preparation has already taken place. Let's have a look at some of what has already taken place.
Bella.
So thank you, Melvin.
You're welcome. Thank you. No, go ahead.
Okay, so hi everybody from rainy Chicago. Welcome to our first online cooking class where we will embark on a culinary journey to explore the wonderful world of Italian cuisine. Today we have the pleasure of introducing you to the rich culture of Italy, its passionate people, and the deep-rooted love for food. Exploring the universal language of food, especially the delightful domain of Italian cuisine, provides a unique perspective on shared experience and the diverse elements that enrich dynamics for participants and host families. Through culinary conversations and exchanges, we can uncover the common threads that connect us and the unique differences that enhance our collective tapestry. We're in for a flavorful journey into the essence of cultural commonalities and distinctions. Before we dive into the art of Italian cooking, let's take a moment to introduce ourselves behind this exciting event. So you already met Melvin Harmon. My name is Tracy Larson-Lee, and I am the Senior Director of Field Operations for AFS-USA. And next, I am really happy to introduce you to Gustavo Zanoli, and he will be hosting the rest of this call from Italy. So thank you all.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can see me, or as I do, you still see the screen with my name on top. Maybe Melvin can take care of that. I'm Gustavo Zanoli. I'm a former AFS student abroad. I've been host brother, sending and host father, everything thanks to Intercultural. I even met my wife thanks to Intercultural. Then I've been a volunteer for many years, and now I am a trainer for trainers in Intercultura. I'm not so much active every day on everyday's activities, but I still enjoy studying and working with intercultural education. As for many Italians, food is very important for me. It plays a very important in my Italian family's life. And we are not just eaters, but we love preparing dishes together, discussing them, remembering them in time. And so I did also with all my AFS families. And it was a very important part of the bonding with my AFS families. AFS is hosted in my Italian family, still asked recipes from my mom, as I do. She's 90. And my host son, Liam, from the US, who came to Italy as a future physics or math student, is now working for a 3-star Michelin restaurant in New York. So he had a change of perspective at some point. Now, coming to today's program, Melvin has already made some excuses. In my life, I do something completely different. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I'm not a professional. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a TV anchorman. And here we have no professional cooks, no filmmakers, no astronauts. I'm just telling you things that Italian AFSers have become famous for. We have famous astronauts, TV anchormen, and so on. But not tonight. We don't have them here. We don't even have a technician, a personal computer technician. So what can go wrong? We hope you will bear with our mistakes, language mistakes, technical mistakes, and that remember that everything is done in the best AFS spirit. So this is now 7:10. It's the happy hour. Families are getting together for the evening. Aperitivi, I see aperitivi and spritz prepared. A real Italian never drinks only. We only drink when we eat also something. So eating and drinking go together for us. It's a part of the meal. It's part of the culture. And so we hope to share with you this precious time of the evening in a real Italian family, which has so nicely decided to host us for this experience. It's a first for every one of us. So let's try to see what happens when we prepare food together on Saturday evening and people start to come back home. You can hear probably the bell ringing. Someone else is coming in. But first of all, I want to introduce you to Cristina. Cristina, come and sit here close to me. so that everyone can see you. Cristina is actually our gold mine because he's the person behind all this. She's the one who, the talent scout, who found this family, who found the students who are now abroad, like Eduardo, who we will meet later, who prepared Linda and Anna from Rovigo here to go abroad to the US. So we really thank to her if we are here tonight, and we should give her a great applause. I don't know if you want to say something about you.
Oh, about me. So I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. As Gustavo said, I'm a former AFS exchange student. I've been volunteering for many years here in Rovigo with different roles. And at the moment, I am the training coordinator for Rovigo's local chapter, but also for the northeast part of Italy. Rovigo is a small town in the northeast of Italy, and I hope one day you can visit this area because it's very nice. And well, enjoy this evening with us, and I hope you will like it. Thank you.
So we have not prepared a slide with the geography of Italy, but just to let you know, we are not far from Venice. Rovigo is spelled R-O-V-I-G-O. Maybe you have never heard of it, or certainly you've never heard of it, because I'm from Ferrara, which is the next town. So we usually say no one knows Rovigo because Ferrara is so much better. And we are divided by a big river, the biggest Italian river, which is the Po River. So I actually work for the Ferrara chapter and Cristina for the Rovigo chapter, but we have been working together actually for ages, despite the ancient rivalry between the two cities. And so this is one first thing you can learn about Italy, is that Italy is a very diverse country. Just within a few kilometers, everything can change. And going back to the topic of tonight, the food can change. So I can already tell you that I will probably disagree with the recipe of ragu, which will be shown here tonight, but it's gonna be probably different, even if I just live 20 kilometers from here, from what I would have done. Anyway, so here we are close to Venezia, and very close to here, there is Ferrara and Bologna, which is the place where the Bolognese sauce comes from, just to give you an idea where the food valley of Italy is. So all places where we don't like to eat at all. Then the next person, very important person, which is coming to see you, and I want to introduce you is, or ask her to introduce herself, is Farsha. Farsha is an Indonesian exchange student.
Yeah. Okay, so hello everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Farsha Hanifa, and I'm from Indonesia. And I'm currently doing my exchange here in Italy here. And yeah, and I will be the cameraman, video maker. So we will show you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Despite speaking so good English, I don't know, what do you speak English at home or
No.
at school? No, so English is already your second language. She has learned perfect Italian, I am told, and I have heard, but she will not speak so much tonight because she's going to be our second eye, and she will be in the kitchen where we will go shortly. And she has also been the artist beyond the video that you saw us, that Melvin showed us at the beginning. So it's very impressive. She's been of great help, and together now we go just behind here where Mama Barbara and Annika are waiting for us in the kitchen. So I think Farsha can start the video, and Melvin, you can switch as soon as Farsha is connected. You can switch to Farsha's presentation. I will just for sure take, yes. Okay. Can you see?
Sì, Gustavo.
Forse potrei.
Parmigiano, lasagna, un po' di This is my ragu, my own recipe. And we made it this morning and it has been cooked for 4 hours. Very slow, very low fire. Okay. And then we have a bechamel, homemade. And then we will make the host of parmesan, grated parmesan here. And pasta, of course. And now Anne is.
Yeah. So now we have seen some of the ingredients. You've already seen as a spoiler how the thing will end with the lasagna. But let me first
Mattina alle 9:30 vengo a prenderti, quella lasciala qui la chitarra.
L'Anita mi aveva detto che se la portava il suonavamo. Quindi, mi sono dimenticata.
your host mom, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
How is it to host a US student?
Was very nice. Now we are going to the end, unfortunately, but it was very interesting and exciting day by day, especially because Anne is a very, very, very good cook.
Okay.
Very good. She prepared something incredible for us coming from her culture. So we had the special Thanksgiving this year with the turkey and everything. It was super. And she also cooked a lot of cakes and delicious things that we ate without any kind of, I don't know, just eating. So you can see the result of this eating.
And Annie, did you like to cook
We
even
enjoyed
before coming to Italy? Or is it something that your parents, who are, I guess, now connected, are discovering that you never cook at home and you started cooking in Italy?
No, I've loved to cook my whole life, and it's definitely something that's brought my family together in California. We always love to cook together. So this year I loved cooking with Barbara and making things for the family, and also learning some more of the traditional Italian dishes here.
So you will have something from this kitchen to bring to your kitchen home.
Yes.
But now what is going to happen, that even though you have seen the end and we will see different steps of the preparation, the spoiler that I'm going to give you is that you're not going to be able to make lasagna in 1 hour. Okay. So we have just 1 hour for this meeting. So we had to split the process somehow. The ragu was already prepared. We have already some lasagna prepared here, but Barbara and Annika will show us how to make homemade pasta.
Okay,
And-
so we have flowers, eggs, honey.
So here are eggs, and here we've made a pile of a volcano shaped pile of our flour, and we will just crack our eggs right in the middle. And I will put 2 eggs right now. And hopefully they won't spill out of the volcano. And this is the traditional way to make pasta, to make the pasta dough. It's an egg pasta, and then we will use a fork and slowly break up the egg yolks and slowly incorporate in the flour. And my
Barbara is putting some salt.
adding some salt in. And slowly you can mix in your flour.
Okay.
Okay.
Very well.
We're not going to show you this all the time, but Farsha will stay here in the kitchen with her mobile. And so Farsha and Barbara are allowed to interrupt us while we go through the rest of the program. Anytime something interesting happens, we will get here. So I'll go back. I'm now back to here to my computer, where I think Melvin will now help me with some slides just to give you very few numbers about what happens when an Italian students come to the US or in the exchange. Yes, the numbers. Thanks to Anna from the Italian office who has prepared these slides for me. So this is to give you an idea what happens in Italy. We've got 160 local chapters, more than 5,000 volunteers, and every year out of 50,000, and together more than 50,000 Italian students have been abroad, not every year, but altogether. And out of this, a great part of those had a scholarship. So they were able to go away, to go abroad, even if they couldn't pay for the whole fee for to go abroad, which is this 22,000 figure that you see at the end. We can see the next slide. When an Italian student comes to the US, he has undergone a long selection process. This is a slide we use to certificates to the Italian school, how many hours the students are spending with us, because they have to get it certified, because sometimes they even have to do projects for the school. So we have at least 70 hours that can between selection and preparation and training before they leave. And even after they come back, we still work with them to do a final meeting to prepare them to also the difficulties of when they come back, because we all know, if for those of you who are AFS volunteers, that it's a 3 years program. 1 year before you leave, the year that you are abroad, and the year that you come back, which is also going to be another exchange year, so to say. So we work a lot with our students to prepare them. Of course, this doesn't mean that hosting an Italian student will not give any problem to all during the whole year, but Italian volunteers are particularly qualified and work a lot with their students to prepare them for a successful year, and even for the bad periods, to see what happens, to understand that it's not going to be everything just like in the pictures, but that we also will have to have some tough periods which will make you grow up. So, talking about Italian students, I want to introduce you some of the students which now are with me. The first one is going to be Edoardo. Yes, sorry, I have forgot about this. I have slides here from Linda and Anna, which in the meantime can come to sit here close to me. These are the slides of Linda and Anna, which are to exchange students from Rovigo to the US, and the pictures of their families. Remember them, because we might come back to those pictures when we talk to Linda and Anna. But before talking to Linda, since we've been talking a lot from Italy, we want to hear now from the US side again. And so Edoardo is now in the US. He's a student from Rovigo, and he is there for 1 year, so it's approaching the end. In which part of the US are you now, Edoardo?
Hi everyone, my name is Edoardo, and I came for the...
Edoardo, the microphone.
Isn't it on? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We got it. So I'm spending my exchange year in Galena, Illinois, which is probably like 3 hours from Chicago. It's a really small town. I think there's like 4,000 people. And I left on August, and I will be coming back on June 24th. So I'm approaching, as you said, the end of my experience, which has been a great experience. And talking about food, it's been really not difficult for me, but really like weird from my point of view because I've experienced so many things. And what I want to say is that I've experienced so many different cultures, food wise, because in the US there's this wide food culture. I've tried Mexican food, Thai food, American food like hamburgers and stuff, and I appreciated something of each food culture I've tried, and it's been really. I grew up really from that point of view because I was used to just eat my pasta, eat my homemade grandma's pasta and my, comfort foods. But now I've widened my food experience and I'm really glad of doing that. I've been doing that.
Great, Eduardo. I also want to congratulate you because I heard that you just graduated from high school. Is that correct?
I really did. I really did. On May 10th, it was a really short year because we got in school on August 16th. So it was just a week after my arrival. And I graduated on May 10th. And now I'm working on my Italian school stuff, which is really boring, but we're having fun. We're having
Yes.
fun in between. And it's been really a nice month so far.
Yes, this Eduardo helps me remind that Italian students, unlike most other AFS students, must actually study during their year abroad. They're not there for fun. They have to go to school for real, not only if they want to achieve a US degree like graduation, which was the case of Eduardo, but because if they don't get onto the next class in the country they are in, so in the US, for example, when they come back to Italy, they will lose their school year. Otherwise, normally, most Italian students do not lose their school year. So they are really interested and keen in going to school in the US, even if it's so different from Italian school, because they need it for their Italian school to go back and not lose their Italian school year. So unfortunately, in Italy, we have 13 school years. So this means that Eduardo, like all the others, when they come back, they still has one Italian school year to go and another graduation to go. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
And we will hear more about this in a very short. I want to ask Linda, who is Eduardo's host mom. How is it to host an Italian student? Why should a US family host an Italian student? You can answer both as a host mom or as a volunteer, because I know you are also a volunteer.
Well, this is our third Italian student. So obviously we like the Italians, but that was not really why he was chosen to be in our family. He's just an outgoing personality, and he's in a very small school who are not used to anyone from any other culture. And so if you're not outgoing, you kind of get lost in a corner. And so he has, really made a lot of friends, participated in everything that was available, did well in his classes. The teachers say, send us one like this every year and it'll be just fine. And so he's really been a positive ambassador for Italy, for AFS. We already have a family for next year, so that's always a good sign. So he also has challenged us a little bit with food, so that's been interesting.
Okay, yes, I can imagine that we might get back to that. Talking about food, Eduardo, before we come back to Italy, what is the first food you want to eat when you get home?
My favorite food I'm probably gonna try again when I come back home is probably my grandma's pasta because there's no one that does it like she does it.
Yes, there's nothing like grandma's pasta.
There's nothing.
Okay, so now we come back here to Italy. You probably can see that I have now two beautiful girls close to me. And behind me, you still see probably they are working in the kitchen. And I think if you want to zoom just for a very short time on what's is happening in the kitchen, they are working the pasta dough. Okay, Can everyone see it? Okay. So meanwhile, we now have another Linda here with me. Linda is just has come back from the US. Maybe you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Linda. I'm 19 years old, and I'm attending the 5th year of high school here in Rovigo. And last year, I spent a year abroad in the US in Villanova, which is near Philadelphia. I attend the senior year there, but I didn't receive the diploma, but I still did the graduation.
Okay. And about what Eduardo was saying before, you are now in the middle of Italian graduation.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I'm not so ready, but yeah.
Okay. It's not a subject for a Saturday evening. I don't want to spoil your Saturday evening. Italian graduation is really very, very tough. Okay, so I guess that meanwhile, surprise, surprise, or caramba, as we would say here in Italy, we also have your host family connected. Is Andrew there, Andrew?
Yep, right here. Hi, everybody.
Great, Cheryl and Andrew. Very good. So how was it to host an Italian student? What made you proud of having an Italian student at your house?
Well, first of all, Linda was the most adventurous and willing to try so many different things while she was here in the United States, I'm sure back in Italy. And also very quick to correct perceptions about things. Her first week here, which we brought her up to our house in the San Juan Islands in Washington, where we're at right now. We opened up a jar. We had a rushing evening and opened up a jar of Barilla pasta sauce, ragu, which was from Italy. So we thought, okay, this is good. And the first thing she says after tasting a little, no, this is not ragu at all. And so she very quickly made a very delicious ragu. And so there was
after texting her mom for the recipe.
Yeah. But we are so proud of everything she tried and experienced here, whether it was going skiing down moguls in America, which supposedly they don't have as many of those in Italy, all the way to just trying many different types of foods or just exploring all around the country.
Just for the young people here, just can you imagine what the life of an exchange student was before internet? When I would have to ask a recipe for my mom during my stay abroad, I had to wait weeks on mail to get it. Now you are so lucky you can get it in a few seconds.
That is so true, Gustav.
Okay. Was you interested in food already before going, or you just started there because you had to survive? were you cooking already before you left Italy?
I sometimes cook with my grandparents, but on my own I didn't do it. And I started in the US to try to cook lasagna, pasta with ragu or tomato sauce. So yeah.
Okay, so Cheryl and Andrew are here online, so they survived. And
we made it.
We can overcome the stereotype that every Italian student is a foodie. It's not, of course. People leave Italy also because maybe they don't want to eat so much Italian food and they're happy to go somewhere else and see something different. But at some point, as it is with the AFS here, they discover also their own culture back. And so something comes in, and so it's probably one of the reasons why it's a good idea to host an Italian student. Now, you can also see on my right side, Anna. Anna is a little bit older. So how long ago have you been in the US?
So I was in the US almost 5 years ago. So I left in September 2019. And I've never been back since then. So it's also been quite a long time. But I do have a good memory, really good memories about food and about my experience. Of course, it's still really alive in my memory.
And even for Anna, we have tonight here with us Amy and Travis. Hi, Amy and Travis. Who are Anna's host parents.
Yes.
Did Anna prepare food for you?
Yes.
Italian food?
We asked her to prepare a meal once a week. So she had to go to grandma, just like everybody else, often, I guess, to get the recipes.
Okay, was it a different meal, Anna, every week or more or less?
I was trying to cook different things, but in the end, like I remember I was good just a few things, and also my host family just liked, for example, ragu, and I was every week doing that at a point. But I also tried other things like pizza, but it was a failure, let's say. I tried some cakes, for example, tiramisu, but it was also really hard to find the right ingredients. So, I mean, I tried and I put my heart on it, following my grandma's recipes, but it was really hard to find, yeah, to recreate it the same way. But I tried because, of course.
Hey, that's all you, I mean, we ate it, so it obviously looked good.
Yes, so you survived as well.
We did, yeah.
So I think it's time to go and take a look, Melvin, on what's happening in the kitchen, because it looks interesting from here. I will move. So Barbara, what are you doing?
So I'm doing the pasta with this very old tool. This is a piece of history of our family because it belonged to my grandmother and then to my mother. And in Italian it's called mattarello.
Anna, how would you say a rolling pin? What's the
Yes.
rolling pin?
Rolling pin in Italian
Rolling
is
pin.
mattarello.
Rolling pin is not so romantic. Mattarello sounds much better.
Mattarello is the most important tool making pasta by hand.
It's a very important for Italian young people education as well.
Yes.
That's what Italian mamas do to their kids when they.
It's not my use, but sometimes it could be useful anyway, not doing pasta, but educating kids. And so it's a piece of history, as I was telling before, and it's very important to me to use this tool. So that this is another.
You can see it was part of a special furniture.
Yes,
so at that time, kitchens came with mattarello inside.
Mattarello inside, so it was into the table in
Yes.
this way. There was
Exactly.
a hole, and you put this mattarello into the table.
So IKEA people, take note of that. Don't forget to make kitchens with mattarello.
So making pasta with this tool is very important to me because I am connected to my family and people that it's not more here with me. They passed away many years ago, but using this tool is something to like to have them here with me. So that's why is why for us, for my family, it's very important to cook everybody together, especially Christmas time, doing pasta, doing tortellini with this tool, to be also with people that is not more with us. Right?
Annika, did you learn a little bit to use mattarello?
Yes, it's.
Show us. Come on, it's your turn. Because it's
quite
very tiring.
Yes,
So.
and it takes a long time to roll it out very thin, especially for lasagna.
Remember, we are going to need to have something like this, Farsha, if you want to show them. In the end, we want to have pieces like this. So we will leave them at work and go back to our other students. So, can you hear us again? So I think we are getting close to the end, but don't leave us, because in the end, Barbara will give us the final recipe of the ragu mainly, which is probably going to be different from Anna. So Amy and Travis, you can check if it was the same that Anna prepared for you, the one which Barbara will tell us tonight. And in general, the recipe of the whole lasagna, and probably AFS-US can circulate then a final version if we ever get get it written on a paper. But Barbara will summarize everything for you. So don't leave us. You will see also how, at least from our faces, you will see how it tastes. Unfortunately, you cannot taste it. That's the perks of being in Italy right now. So just Anna, Linda, and Eduardo, just a final discussion. Let's go back to the food. We have used the food, which is just, of course, a way of talking about cultural diversity, intercultural learning. It was just an excuse, actually, because we knew that if we were preparing lasagna, we would get much more audience than if we were just, talking about intercultural communication in general. But for interculturalists in the audience, for AFS volunteers, stepping up in the grooves pyramid, which was an example that we use when we teach our students how intercultural learning goes. If we look at food more in general, is there something that you have learned during your year? I think we heard Eduardo say that he tried many different styles of food. Did you also meet people with different diets or with food which was prohibited to them by religion, or funny allergies, something that you don't see in Italy so much because of the diversity of the US?
Well, no, I don't think so, but I've been experiencing some different food experiences because I've been for a week, actually a weekend. I've been hosted by a Mexican family. And since I was in a Mexican family, we used to cook together, and they showed me how to cook typical Mexican food, which is apparently different, way different from the American replica of it. It's a completely different experience, and getting together and learning how to do that was a really important highlight of my experience in the United States, I think, because it gave me it showed me how Mexican family really cook their food and how they get together and do that, which was pretty cool.
Okay. Linda, did you eat everything before you left Italy? Is there something that you don't eat at all that you had to try in the US? Was any hard experience with food while you were there?
Before going to my exchange year, I was a picky eater, but I try to eat every kind of food that my host parents made. So yeah, the only thing I didn't try was pineapple pizza because I wanted to keep my Italian culture. But
that was against your religion.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. Pineapple pizza it's really, you really have to become very intercultural for an Italian to be able to eat pineapple pizza.
Yeah.
Yes, I can understand. That's a step forward. And more in general, Anna, what can you say about not necessarily about your family, but more in general, even the families of your friends? What is their relationship? Because I've heard that in your family, food was important nearly as much as in an Italian family, I would say, which is not so typical probably in the US. But let's say, for example, about quantities of food, shopping, what you do with food waste. Did you see any differences in the US families you've seen, in your friends, in the attitude?
Okay, so of course it's really different, like how we see food and how they see food in the US. But I was lucky that in my family it was still really important to share at least one meal a day, which was the dinner. Of course, in Italy, it's usual to have both meals at home, lunch and dinner, because our school finishes at 1 p.m. But of course, in the US, school goes up until 2 or 3 p.m. So usually lunch is at school. And also it's a lighter lunch than we usually have. So it was really funny because in the beginning, like the first week or so, I was going to school having lunch there, but it wasn't enough. So as soon as I got home, I would cook myself a huge bowl of pasta, like a huge bowl of tomato sauce with pasta, and then because dinner or supper was so early, around 5:30 or 6, I wasn't hungry at all. But of course I would eat, but it was all messed up. Like my schedule was completely messed up. And in the beginning was really, really hard to get to know like how to balance my new diet and my new times. But of course it all worked out in the end with the talking, of course, and both like my part and my host family would talk more and organize our meals more. And so yes, it's different, the times. So the dinner there was really early, and also the night, the curfew, let's say, the nighttime was like you would go to bed really early. So that was a big difference. And also the quantity for lunch. Like in Italy, we have like a huge carb meal, and in the US it would be like just a snack.
But in the evening, it's probably the other way around.
Yes, in the evening it was like a normal meal, and
in Italy, sometimes it's
yes,
a light.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, now we've been talking about, okay, you can watch behind me. Behind me, we're getting ready. So very soon, I have just one last questions for the guy, and then we will go back there before they put the lasagna into the oven. So wait for us, please.
Okay.
Okay. We've talked about all of sorts of nice things, but there's one last question I didn't prepare you guys for, you three guys. And you know that, and it's not going to be a bed of roses. It's not everything a bed of roses. It's a bad question. So don't hate me for that. But we cannot only talking about the good things. We must say what really AFS stands for. You know what AFS stands for? AFS, it's another fat student. So how much weight did you get while you were in your US year? Did you gain weight?
Yeah.
How many kilos? So it's time to tell it.
Around 7.
7.
I didn't count, but I think it was the same. Yeah.
More or less the same. Eduardo, what about you? Did football?
I kept track of it just in the first like 3 months because it was getting too much. And just in December, I was 28 pounds above my starting point. So I was, which will be like 7 kilos or something. So and it was just 3 months. So I just got out of it and I quit. I quit keeping track of it.
What was it that saved you? Football? Was football that saved you, or?
Yeah. Probably at that point. And basketball is a lot of running, and I didn't even imagine that. And probably that saved me a little bit. Yeah.
So I think we are perfectly on time and in schedule. And behind me, they've been very good. They are also perfectly on time and in schedule. So what do you think, Melvin? We should go back to them, main screen on Farsha, and we will see what happens in the kitchen, and then we can close. I think there has been a question for Eduardo. Eduardo, have you tried stuffed pizza?
Not yet. But I'm lucky because I'm gonna be spending 4 days in Chicago starting from tomorrow, and so that might be the chance, and that might be the day I will try stuffed pizza. Yep.
Okay. So I go back in the kitchen. What's happening here? What do we have here, Barbara and Annika?
So we have finished our lasagna. We made all the layers. The order that we did was a layer of bechamel, which in English is bechamel. It's the white sauce. And we did a layer of the pasta of our lasagna sheets. And then another layer of bechamel. And then a layer of our ragu sauce that we had already prepared, because it does take, I think, 3 or 4 hours to boil down the sauce to have the traditional ragu sauce. And then each layer we topped with Parmesan, and then we repeated it to stack up the layers, and on the top we just cut some butter up.
Okay, so now it's time to go into the oven.
Yes. Now it's time, we're gonna put it in the oven.
But at the same time, magically, 1, 2, 3, look here. It's already ready.
Yes,
It's-
now we are going to taste it.
Now we're going to taste it. But first, Barbara, you have to tell us something about the ragu. You're not going to escape. Our friends
Okay,
will
my
want to know
secret,
your secrets.
Yes, it's different from your grandma's and your mother's secret, of course. It's a mixture between beef and pork meat and a little piece of sausage made by pork meat, of course, without garlic, no garlic inside. And then we chopped all the vegetables, so that is onion, carrot, celery, and the little onion. Salad. Okay, that's one. I cannot say this, but she said. And first, you have to put a little of ice on the bottom of the pan. That one, the big one. Just a little, because the meat has the fat inside, so it's not necessary to put so much oil or butter into the ragu. And then you put the meat into the pan, cook a little, and then put all the chopped vegetables inside. Because with the water of the vegetables and with the fat of the meat, the ragu is done. Mix a little on the fire, high fire, and then low the fire. The smallest fire you can have on your stove, and then the tomato sauce. Salt, pepper, water, and leave it there for 4 hours. This is my secret for the ragu. Okay.
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 Thank you. We will now ask the expert, which is Barbara, to taste the lasagna, see if it's okay.
Let's see it's
So you can
went
all
well, yes.
you can all envy us. In a few minutes, we will be all tasting it. But Barbara has to say if lasagna made with anise, so Italo-Californian lasagna, is still as good as it.
Notice we have also a little piece of California on the table.
Okay, great.
Oh, pay attention on the finger, asbestos finger.
Yes. Okay, look inside. Farsha will show us. Oh, that looks yummy. Okay. And yes. We must really thank Barbara. Just imagine, not all Italian mothers are so good cook and can speak so good English.
Okay, thank you.
Just tell this to the students who are coming to Italy. They can either or. Usually they can cook much better than they do speak English.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay. Here we are now. So Melvin or Tracy, it's up to you. Do you have questions or are we ready to close? They still work down there in the kitchen.
Well, I just want to thank everybody. This was, at the beginning, I made those little warnings that you mentioned earlier, where I talked about the fact that we had a lot of people involved and a lot of activity, but wow, this exceeded all the expectations that I lost sleep over during the night last night. It was absolutely perfect. So I want to thank everyone in Italy for the work that you did to pull this all together and to make it so seamless and to make it so, well, it's made us all want to be there to have the lasagna with you. I want to thank the host families who joined us today here in the United States to to talk about their experiences. We are so grateful for your generosity and for joining us and sharing. I want to thank volunteers who are here today from both in Italy and here in the United States for all that you do to make these experiences happen, and this sharing of food and love and culture. It's the greatest aspect of AFS, and we thank you for what you do to facilitate that. And of course, to Gustavo for facilitating, for being our MC. We want to thank you. You were magnificent at helping us get to know everybody involved in this process, and for telling us about AFS with Intercultural in Italy, for introducing everyone to us and sharing all of these stories. It made for a very entertaining, informative, and tasty hour. And lastly, for everyone who joined us today, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed it, and let us know if you want to let us know that this was a great thing to do and you'd like to see more. An easy way to contact us is just marketing@afsusa.org or hosting@afsusa.org. Let us know. And we do have in the works a Thai cooking show, and we have also talked with AFS Germany, and they're also gonna work with us to put together a presentation. What was that?
Gonna be interesting. Italians don't think much of German food, but I was an AFSer in Germany, so I must say I had wonderful food in Germany as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we'll have a good time at the next one as well. If this is any judge, well, they have something to compare to and to live up to, because this has been perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Okay, bye-bye from Italy.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Everyone in here, come back.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao,
Ciao.
ciao. Please stop. I'm trying to close.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Can we stop?
Arrivederci.
Thank you.
Arrivederci.